Welcome to this month's Cat Collective Summit. We're in February, but whenever you hear this information, it can be in summer next year or something, the information will find you at exactly the right time that you need to hear this. So welcome to everyone who's here, everyone in delayed replay. I'm really excited about today's questions. What we will talk about today, I will briefly explain how channeling the Cat Collective works. So since there's a lot of people on this call who just basically found me or have not, you probably don't have a lot of prior information. So I will explain real quick what the Cat Collective is, how it works. Then I will have 3 questions today for the cats that I asked them. It's kind of I did the channeling yesterday, but I brought the information fresh off the boat basically today. And then the last part is going to be Q&A around cats, around your cats. You can ask me personal questions and you can ask about cats in general. So that's my agenda for today. For those who just found me, who am I? I am a cat expert, a cat whisperer. I'm also an author, an intuitive. I do healing work. I'm a starseed, and I help people through the ascension process. And basically, to put it in a nutshell, I help cat lovers awaken to their true selves with the help of their cats. So I help people with their spiritual awakening through their cats. And I always say it up front. Everything that I teach, everything that I share comes directly from the cats. I do not recite from cat textbooks. I do not look at what researchers, biologists have found out about cats and think how cats think and decipher from a cat behavior. This is probably what the cat thinks or does, or no, I go directly to the source. I take it directly from the horse's mouth or from the cat's mouth in my case. And lately I have done literally thousands of sessions with cats. So I've spoken to thousands and thousands of cats over the course of the last, 7, 8 years, as long as I've been doing this work. So I had many one-on-one sessions with cats. I had many sessions with a group of cats, like a cat, in the family. But I also speak to the higher selves of the cats. And lately, more and more, the Cat Collective has come in. So basically all the cats in the world, they come together as a collective and they share their information with me, their secrets. So again, everything you hear today is not premeditated. I did not make this up. I asked directly the cats, why do you do what you do and how does this work from your cat's perspective? And this is what they shared with me. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. So first of all, the Cat Collective, for those who haven't worked with me before, I just want to say up front, cats are naturally connected. And when I say connected, I mean your cat is naturally connected to universal wisdom. So your cat is a cat in a cat body with a cat's mind, and your cat likes being a cat. But at the same time, they're very spiritual. They are higher beings. They are naturally connected. What we humans try to achieve, or not try to, but what we humans achieve through, let's say, meditation or, breath work, meditation, tapping in, aligning with source and tapping into source frequency or tapping into that higher wisdom, they are naturally connected. The cats are already there. I spoke with a lady yesterday who was an intuitive medium, and I said the cats are mediums, they're intuitives, they are psychics, they are always connected. What we have to do with meditation, they are just there. So that being said, they are connected to all the wisdom of the world, of this universe, and that's how they know so much. And that's how they're here to support us and to help us, because they know so much about us. They know so much about humanity. Not only do they live together with us very closely, they understand our human world so much better than we think, because they are always there, right? They see firsthand, they feel firsthand, they feel what we feel, they know what we go through. So they know our human world really well. And since they're connected to that, let's say that universal cloud, they know exactly what they're talking about because they have access to the entire wisdom of the universe. As for the cat, and I'll come back to that just in a minute. So the cat collective, let's say all the cats on Earth, they are connected. They are connected through an invisible field of information and consciousness. Just like we humans, we are all connected through this field of consciousness. So there's a field of humanity that we can tap into. We can tap into what humanity feels, or how, where humanity is at any point in time when we know how to do that. So humans are connected. The cats are all connected in this field of, felines. The dogs are all connected. The horses are all connected in their own field. The, everybody's connected in this field of consciousness. They say mushrooms, if you've ever, I'm kind of veering off topic now, but you've probably heard that mushrooms are connected through this field of information. Plants are connected through this field of information. So the cats are connected through this field of information. And when I channel them, just like when anybody channels any entity or any group of beings, the cats basically send a few representatives that then talk to me by means of channeling. The information just comes through. But they kind of have representatives, and these representatives then give the information to me. And I was thinking about how, just before the call, I was thinking about how to explain that to people who are not familiar with my work, or who might be new to channeling. So it's kind of like, or you might wonder, the information that comes through, how do the cats know that? But they are all connected. They have access to all the information of all the cats in this world. They have access to that, and they kind of send representatives that speak on that subject. It's kind of like when you imagine there's an international meeting and there's a few representatives from, let's say, the United States, and they represent the people of the United States. And then there's people who represent the people of, let's say, Finland. And then there's representatives that represent Australia and whatever. And they speak for their country, because they can say, well, we Americans, we know how Americans think. We know how American mentality is. We know what our country, our people probably would want in this matter, right? They speak as representatives of their country. Like the Finnish representatives, they can talk about people in Finland. This is how the Finns see the situation, or how the Australians see the situation. And that's how we can imagine the cats coming through me. When I ask the cat collective, all the cats in the world, when I ask a question, they tap into that universal knowledge, into what all the cats in this world are going through, what they feel, what they know, what they experience. And then these representatives talk to me, and they give the information of what basically most of the cats as a collective have to say. So I hope this is clear. Maybe you can just write in the chat real quick. I hope this clears it up a little bit, and that was understandable. I do want to go to the chat, not to the Q&A. I think you guys are okay. Yes, it's clear. Hi, Jasmine. You're here. Hello, hello. Jasmine and I share a last name. Okay, cool. Good. So, how does channeling work? It's basically you have to put your own conscious thoughts aside. You connect, like you go into meditation, like you connect to your spirit guides, or whatever, who you're connecting to when most of you hopefully have some kind of meditation practice. So whoever you connect to, I call in the cats, and they come in, and it's kind of like, you have to imagine you're lying back like in a flotation tank, when you're just lying back in the water and you just float, and you let your mind drift, and you make your mind kind of blank, and then the information comes in. It either comes in through, I can do it in writing. I just make my mind blank, and they come in, and then I write, and it just flows out of my hands. Literally, I just go like this. Or when I speak it, it just comes through me, and it comes out of my mouth, and I do not know beforehand what comes out. And that's how you know you're channeling, because I have no idea what I'm going to say or what I'm going to write. It just comes through. And you will probably see with everything that I share, the information that's going to come through, you will see that it resonates so deeply with you. And I'm sure that it'll resonate with you. You can tell that this is genuine. I did not make this up. I couldn't make this up. I have a pretty good, I know cats pretty well, and it didn't surprise me what came out in the questions, but you'll just feel it's genuine. All right. So, who helps me with it? Meet Jamie. Jamie is my rainbow cat. He crossed over 2 years ago. He was my beloved, one of my beloved cat companions who crossed over 2 years ago. And it turns out he's still there for me on the other side. He is my communicator on the other side. And what they explained to me lately, I didn't even realize that. They said his soul has not crossed all the way over. They say he has a foot in the door between this dimension where we are in, or where our consciousness is in. He has a foot in the door between our dimension and where the souls go after they cross over all the way. So they say he has not crossed over fully. He has a foot in the door. He's kind of half in, half out. And he's here for to help me with this information, to help me with the channeling. And I think it's beautiful. And I love him dearly, my Jamie. And I wanted to show you a face because I always talk about the Cat Collective. So I wanted to show you a face and the name. This is Jamie, and he's helping. Okay. So Miriam asked, does each species of felines have their own particular collective? That's a very good question. Yes, you could tap into the collective, let's say, of Siamese cats or of Norwegian forest cats or Persians. I have not done that specifically. It's a very good question. I would probably leave that to one of the later summits. I will try to make a mental note. Very good question. We could talk to the Norwegian forest cats, or we could talk to the Persians, or whatever we want to talk to, whatever collective. So yes, you can do that, and you will see when we talk about the following, because I asked about being neutered, about kittens, having kittens, and the females and the males come through at each of their parts. So yes, you can tap into any subcategory. All right, so to start this off, before I go into the questions, I would like for everybody to just put their feet on the ground for a moment and just close your eyes and just feel in, feel in, feel in, just so you get a feeling. Just breathe, breathe into the earth and into the sky and into yourself, your innermost. And out, into call your spirit guides in, feel into the cats, feel into your cats. Keep your eyes closed for a moment, calling your cats. Just a very quick tap in. You might feel your cat's essence coming in. And now feel into the cat collective. And you might feel them coming in. It's like 100 cats come into the room and they all lie down next to you and they purr and they sit. And this feline essence fills your room. I can feel that coming in for many of you. So just bathe in these energies and these frequencies. This is the cat collective. Okay. All right. So let's get started with the questions. You can come back into the here and now, open your eyes, but I just want you to feel these feline energies, and maybe you want to put it in the chat if you could feel if you can feel the cat collective closer now. I just feel them like hundreds of cats coming in at the same time and purring. All right, so let's get started. I had 3 questions for the cat collective, and the first one is one that I get asked a lot. People say yes in the chat. They can feel the cat collective overwhelming sense of pure joy and calm. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. So question number 1, I get that a lot. A lot of people can't understand why cats are still such mean and fierce hunters, although our cats are well fed, right? They are not hungry. They do not have to go out and hunt and kill, but they still do it, or many of them still do it. And actually, to be honest, that was one of the things why I would say for a long time, that's the only thing I don't really like that much about cats. I love everything about cats, but the hunting is just something. When I see my purry little loving cat companion, he goes out and he pounces on a mouse. I say, why do you have to do that? You're such a cuddly, sweet, so highly evolved, and this highly evolved soul, and then you go out and you just whack that mouse. Why do you do that? So I'm sure that many of you have asked themselves the questions. I get the question a lot, and I have some answers for you today. They're very good answers. And these answers, part of it is channel, but part of it is what I've gotten from cats over the years when that question came up. So I just kind of made a few points here because it's different. There's different points that the cats here make. So this is number 1. Obviously, I mean, it's a very obvious reason. It's evolutionary. because the cat said we are made to be hunters by nature. And I mean, it's true. When you look at the cat's diet, cats are pure carnivores. Cats are probably, as far as I know, at least out of all the pets that we feed, they are the animals that need the most meat in their diet, that would die without meat. They need between 80 and 90, you know, don't put it down on the, but they need between 80 and 90% meat in their diet. If you would feed a cat vegetarian food, she would die. So nature has made them to be carnivores. So it is what it is, and evolution is slow. I do still hope that in my lifetime I will see cats evolve into a higher species that could, you know, don't have to kill anymore. But until then, evolution works slowly. So cats are made as carnivores by nature. And evolution also, when you look at it, I mean, it's still necessary for cats to hunt, because many cats still live out in the wild or as feral cats. Not all the cats live in our living rooms. So if we ever get to the point that all cats live with us humans and we basically do the killing for them, I mean, it's kind of, you know, they say, well, you guys, cats, cat collective at one point said, you humans do the killing for us. If we don't kill, I mean, what's the difference between, you know, killing a mouse or killing a chicken? If we don't do it, then you humans do the killing for us, and the end result is the same. An animal gets harvested for food, and they're right, right? So since evolution is slow, there's many cats that still live outdoors, that all over the world, and they need to feed, so they need to be hunters. And unless all the cats get all, you know, cuddled up in our living rooms and fed by us, maybe in I don't know how many decades, maybe then evolution would change. But right now it's evolutionary. They need to feed, they need meat, so thus they need to be hunters. So it's just a must. And here's a quote what they said. They said, we cats truly are loving and kind beings at heart. We know that you also see our predator side, pouncing and hunting other creatures, But this was given to us by nature, and it's what our physiology makes us out to be. But our souls are pure, as are most humans. So this was a direct quote from the cats. So that was number one. Second one is kind of, I mean, goes hand in hand, right? It's a physiological response. The cat says, a quote, it's a body's response when our instincts are triggered. Hearing an animal or seeing something move really fast, the body just reacts because they're physiological, made to be hunters. So when they see something move out of the corner, because their eyes are made to react to movement. So when they see something scurry through the bushes, there is just a response of the body, the reflex. The reflex goes, pray, you know, something's moving in the bushes, and they go for it. So their body reacts, their body gets triggered. And that makes sense too, right? I mean, even if they're well fed and they just had a full meal of chicken or something, and they go outside, they will still see that mouse run in the bushes, and their body will just go for it. It's a physiological response. And yeah, they made to be hunters. They have the claws, they have the you know, the muscles. The muscles are made for sprint, running after a prey. They're made to jump. Their eyes are geared for movement. Their ears are geared for hearing tones of a mouse or something that we don't even hear. It's in the frequency spectrum that we don't hear. So they are made to be hunters. They have the canine, the teeth and everything, the canines. So they are made to be hunters. And here's a quote that goes with this. The cat said, we cats understand what nature has made us to be, into a predator of smaller animals. We hunt animals in the wild that have a lower form of consciousness than we cats. So they are aware of that they hunt animals that have a lower form of consciousness. And I think that's important for them to say that. And then they said, when we see something move, it's our body's reflex to go after it. It is drilled into our genes and our consciousness that that's what we need to do. So it's purely a physiological response a lot of times, although they're fed, although they just come from a meal, but their body just reacts. It's a reflex. Makes sense, right? I'm going to go to the chat real quick to see if anybody has any questions so far. Do cats not have self-control to stop themselves from killing when their instincts are peaked? That's a good question. Some cats will, some are more instinctual, and some cats are more highly evolved. So you will see different cats reacting differently. There are some cats that are very much in tune with who they are, They're very much in tune with their natural side, and they will still go for it. And then there's other cats that won't have that reaction because they are maybe higher evolved. I mean, just like humans, right? There are humans, and there's no, no judgment here or at all. There's humans that are very highly evolved spiritually or mentally, or, you can put a piece of fresh chicken in front of them and they say, I'm not eating that because I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat meat, right? And then there's others who will not think twice about it. They just say, oh, yeah, chicken, right? I'm going to eat the chicken. And we humans know better too, right? We humans know we don't have to eat the chicken. We can eat vegetables. We are not carnivores. So, and I don't want to put a guilt trip on anyone. I've been vegetarian for 40 years by now. And it would not even cross my mind to eat an animal. But others eat animals every day and we don't think twice about it. But then we want to point the finger at cats saying cats kill. Well, humans eat animals, although they don't have to. Humans can be vegetarian. And I'm not doing any finger pointing. I'm not, criticizing anyone. You eat what you eat, I eat what I eat. But I just want to point it out that we humans are so evolved. We humans are so smart, so empathic, so, emotionally intelligent. And many people still eat meat without thinking twice about it. And we don't have to. The cat has to. We don't have to. So that being said, and to finish the question, is a very good question. Some cats will not go for the kill because they don't need to. They're too high evolved for it. And other cats are very much still instinctual, natural, close to who nature made them to be, and they will go for it, although they're fed. So I hope this answers the question. It was a very good question, by the way. Okay. So let's move on. There's more answers here because I know this is a big question with the hunting, and I know it comes up a lot. That is why I wanted to spend some time on it. Because actually different, and that goes with the question that somebody just asked, I forgot the name. Different cats give different responses. So some are very, very reflexual, very instinctual, and they will just go for it. Others are, they say, oh, I don't care, no. But then other cats say for them, they say it's exercise, it's training, it keeps them fit and healthy. And just like we people go to the gym, right? We need to work out our muscles, or we do walking or whatever exercise, we need to work out our muscles, right? So for cats, they are made to jump and run fast and they are made for that. So some cats see it kind of like workout, and for them it's workout. I mean, it's all I can say about it. For them, it's workout, and they say they need the workout. They need to keep their claws sharp. They need to keep their they need to keep their body sharp. And what they say here, no, sorry, I went back. So the quote here was, they said, to hunt means to hone your skills of smelling, hearing, and seeing, to follow your instincts, to burst out into a sprint and feel the force and the speed of your body while running across the grass. Yes, even the catching of the prey is part of a skill set of hunters and predators that nature, or let's say creation, endowed us with. Are we proud of it? Well, some cats are. They are the ones that live closely to their nature and embrace all of who they are. In other words, they embrace their shadow side. We humans, we spiritual beings, we don't embrace our shadow side sometimes, and cats are they are more willing to embrace their shadow side. They say, yes, I'm a loving being. Yes, I do all these, these things, but I'm also, my shadow side is I'm a predator. So they go out and they will hunt. Okay. So we had to, I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Is there any questions on that? Mental workout as well. Yep. Claire asks, are male cats more prone to hunt? My female cat has no interest to go outside and hunt, but my male cat loves to go out there to hunt. That's a good question. Actually, I found that female cats sometimes are the fiercer hunters. And that is because they have physiologically in their genes and in their life stream that they need to feed their kittens. So I found that female cats actually are sometimes the fiercer hunters, just because it's drilled into their, into their consciousness that they have to feed their kittens. So it's another physiological response that nature has given them, feed the kittens. So sometimes the females actually are more the hunters than the males. But that being said, every cat's different, just like every human's different. Every cat's different. So, but a very, very good question. All right. And then the last one, and this is actually kind of funny. I call this one the guilty pleasure. it's it's for some cats, it's an adrenaline rush. And it's kind of comparable. They say, some humans go out and hunt for sports. Why do they do that? Are these mean people, or do they just enjoy, the testosterone rush, the like a good chase? They like to take home a prize. They like to hang out with their buddies. They like the sneaking up, whatever it is that they like. I'm not condoning or condemning or praising any of this, of course. But I know there are people who hunt, and are they bad people? I don't know. I mean, they are loving people. They have a wife and they have children, and they go for the hunt and they kill an animal, and then they go home and are loving, loving family people. So are they bad people for hunting? I don't know. Is it a rush, an adrenaline rush? I don't know what it is. I personally can't understand it, how people go out and hunt. But it's kind of the same with cats. They say it's an adrenaline rush, and it's workout, it's so and so. We just love a good hunt, right? Some cats. So it's kind of a sports, a pastime, a guilty pleasure. Hope that makes sense. And then the last point I'm making here, and this is kind of what I thought was funny. This came through a while ago, a couple of weeks ago. I got that as an answer, and I thought it was kind of funny. I have to share it. And the cat said, it's like humans watching a gory, violent movie, right? I mean, we do that, right? We are spiritual people. We are enlightened people. We would not go out and kill anyone, all the gory stuff, but we watched a violent movie. Why do we do that? Are we bad people? We know it's, and the cat said, it's not good for you to watch a violent movie. It's not nice to do, to see people get killed on television. But they say once you start, you just can't look away. The adrenaline is rushing through our bodies when we watch these movies, and we just can't stop until the murder is committed or the fight is over, or the gory movie comes to an end. Is it a nice thing to watch people getting killed on television? No, but once we start, we can't stop, right? It's kind of that adrenaline rush, right? And the cats kind of compared that. They showed me when they go out and they see a mouse or something, or they start the hunt, or they're going after something. It's an adrenaline rush that goes through their body, and it's just kind of once you can stop, just like we can stop eating the ice cream, or we can stop watching that terrible, horrible, violent movie. So I thought that was a really good comparison with the violent movie, because I think we're all guilty of that, right? Guilty pleasure. We watch horrible stuff on television where people get slashed left and right. And sometimes you can stop watching. And we know it's not nice to watch, and we do it anyway. So, and we know it's just fiction and everything, but not every cat always goes for the kill. They just, anyway. So I, I thought it was a really good comparison with the violent movie where we just can't stop. And for some cats, it's just like that. Once they get going, they can't stop until the kill is done. So does that make sense? Just going to the chat real quick. I think it's a mental workout. Maxine says the photos of cats that you show are very beautiful and expressive of high consciousness. Actually, some people get damaged by antibiotics and herbicides and need to eat fat and meat instead of plants and sugary grain foods. Okay. It is what it is. I don't really want to go into a discussion of what we eat or what we should eat or not eat, or it is what it is. I think we are all on a different level of frequency or consciousness. And yes, if you eat meat, I mean, it is what it is. I don't really want to get into that discussion. I just want to point out that there's two sides to every story. And I do hope that the explanation from the cats about why they hunt, although they don't have to anymore, I think it gives a really good idea of that's who they are. Once they can, once they start, they can't stop. It's workout, it's mental workout, it's body workout, and evolution works really slowly. And I think it'll be a couple of years, decades, until we'll probably see people, cats slow down with the hunting, unless they make a super jump in consciousness, which they might do. Who knows? I hope I can see it in my lifetime where cats don't go hunt anymore. But until then, who am I to judge, right? It is what it is, and they are who they are. Yep, violent films make me laugh. Okay. Yep. Okay, good. All right, moving on. Other question, and I get asked that a lot too. That is why I picked it for today. How do the cats feel about being neutered, spayed, and or having kittens? And I think it's a very important question to answer, and this is all channeled. I mean, I kind of I could guess what the answers were, or I kind of knew from other, when I talked to the cats in all these years, but this is completely channeled now yesterday. And I wanted the cats to speak here. And they said, it does our species good. This is the cat collective now. There's an overpopulation of cats, and we are not the purely instinctive species anymore that nature once made us out to be. So they're saying, yes, they are becoming more aware. Yes, they are becoming tamer and nicer and sweeter, right? That's why a lot of cats do not hunt anymore. Not all the cats go out and hunt, right? So they say we're not the purely instinctive species anymore, meaning our breeding cycles are a bit outdated for the awakening of this planet. And now we're going into the higher consciousness here. And they're saying as much as humans were going through this process of not having babies at a high uncontrollable rate anymore, so are we cats. So they kind of compare to population control or, birth control among humans. They say it gives you the choice to make your life more about you in your truest form and about focusing on your development as a person and a species. And this goes on here. And they say we mean no disrespect to parenting or child rearing to humans now. But most humans now have the luxury of choosing if they want to have one or two children or more or no children, versus before when their physiology left them no choice. So you can focus on being yourself and having the choice of how many children you want to have, no children, many children, anything in between. So they say you humans can now focus on being yourself and bringing all your gifts into the world. And by the same token, we cats can now focus on being ourselves when they get neutered and spayed, and supporting our humans much better than before. So yes, the neutering, spaying is much welcomed by us so that now we can help you on your life journey. So here we're getting a little bit more into the higher frequencies now, into the higher consciousness. And I hope you're not saying that the contrast is, between the hunting and the having kittens, but the higher consciousness is always there. So the neutering, they welcome that. And who knows, maybe if I ask this question about the hunting in a couple of years, then maybe the cats are saying the same thing about, they're not the same anymore and they don't want to hunt anymore. Maybe we can see that change in the next couple of years. But when it comes to the birth control or population control, they're already a step further. So they welcome population control for other reasons that I'm going to share now. So I asked about having kittens. And these are the female cats now that we're speaking, a subgroup, and they say, some of us do like the joys of motherhood when we bring up kittens and lovingly show them how to be a cat in this world. But this is only if we can bring up the kittens in a secure environment where they are not prone to get sick or attacked by animals or having other hardships of raising kittens in the streets or in the wild. So we deeply appreciated that we don't have to hide kittens under wood piles or in extreme weather anymore. But even for those female cats living in your homes, please, yes, we give you the absolute yes for our population control. And the female cats go on. They said, understand that our sex drive is not the same as yours. So please have your female cat fixed before her cycles start. It is not a pleasure to be in heat, not when you're locked indoors, and also not when we're outside and prone to be attacked by every unfixed male cat. It feels like a hunt and having to hide away. And we're not having the pleasure of sex like you humans do. And the last thing they said was, please spay us so we have the chance to be ourselves, same as the human women now have a chance to be themselves and not be pregnant during much of their adult years. And I hope that nobody feels offended here now with having children and everything. The cats are not saying that, they're just saying that we humans have a choice through birth control and everything, or let's say most humans in large parts of the planet, we humans have a choice whether we want to have children or not. And we used to be like the cats, right? Where we had no choice. And the cats are absolutely saying it is not a pleasure. It is not great to be pregnant all the time and having to hide the kittens away and getting attacked and being in heat. So it's not the same as for us human women, where we say the pleasure of, child rearing and the pleasure of motherhood and everything. It's different for them. It's more instinctual, it's more physiological, and they know there's a lot of hardship involved in having kittens and kittens dying and hiding them away and everything. So I see some questions. I'm going to check the questions. And it says we need to find a way to get more spay-neuter clinics to be affordable for everyone. It's too expensive for so many people. Yep. Since says not offended. Thank you for the info. Yep. Laura says, as someone who works in TNR, so trap neuter, I know that the cats have a sense of relief after their surgeries. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about the male cats, because I know that a lot of my male clients, a lot of men, they shy away from neutering their male cats. Oh my God, my poor cat. I don't want him to go, to clip. I don't want him to be, neutered and everything. I want him to go out and be a man and, do all the manly stuff and everything. But the male cats came in, they said, if you're a male human thinking that your cat likes to go out and fight and desperately find a female to mate with, then let us tell you, no, it is not a joy for us. Neither is being locked up and having hormones rage through us when we're not able to go outside and blow off the steam. So the male cats are saying the same. It's an instinctual thing. It's what nature made them to be, and this is something that's kind of outdated. They do not need to go out and fight anymore. And the thing with male cats, when they're not fixed, they go outside, they will fight. They have to fight because their hormones just tell them to fight, and they will get into fights and they will get killed and they will get, it's really, really dangerous for them to be outside and do that because they will walk really far to find the females. They will fight. They will get injured. So you are doing your cat a favor, your male cat, when you have him neutered, because he doesn't have that, he doesn't have to go out and fight anymore. And take it from the male cats to say, no, it's not a joy for us. Also not being locked up. So the male cats go on to say, please do your male cat a favor and have him neutered. And he will gracefully settle into his new role of being your friend. And yes, maybe you'll still go out there and make friendly social contact with the other cats in the neighborhood, but basically he doesn't have to fight for his life anymore. It makes sense, right? I know for the females among us, it makes sense, but I do know that many male clients of mine, they say, oh, neutering, oh my God. But it's not the same. Also, their sex drive is not the same as ours. For them, they're driven. It's an instinct, just like the hunting, right? I mean, that's an instinct. You go out and you do it. But they don't really, they're kind of past that one, interestingly. With the hunting, they feel a little bit different, but here they feel very strongly that it's not fun to have all these hormones rage through them. So again, you're doing us a favor by taking away this raging drive to go out and mount a female. We are better off for it, and we are being more ourselves. Even when neutered, we can still be a male cat with all our masculinity. And they conclude with saying, just like you as a modern man can still be male and have your strength and all your male qualities, but also being a civilized person in this day and age and not grope every woman out there that you see, like it was probably, I don't know, 120 years ago. I don't want to put a timestamp on this, but there were times, or 1,000 years ago, I don't know, I don't want to offend anyone, but there were times when males were probably more driven to go out and kind of, go after the females. And the modern man these days is also civilized. And the male cats want to be more civilized too when it comes to that. So basically, they do not want to go out and get hurt and fight and have all these hormones rage through them. Does that make sense? Okay, male lion will walk 100 miles to find a female. Yep. Okay. Therese asks, I rescued many homeless kittens and cats as I can. It's heartbreaking and endless. I feel horrible and guilty for the ones I lose or cannot help. What happens to those and why there's so much suffering? And in the US, help me understand why there's so much hatred and indifference towards cats. I don't think it's a hatred. I think many people don't understand cats. And let's all work on making a difference, people. And that is my mission, to help people understand cats better, where they come from, who they are, how wonderful, how, how enlightened, how wonderful they are, and how they're here to help us, just like dogs are here to help us. It's a little known fact that cats help us. And that's what, I strive towards, to tell the world that cats are wonderful and they are companions and they help us so much. But that being said, let's talk about, and I'll come back to that question. So I asked them, how can we best help him? And these answers might be quite obvious, but that's what they gave me as an answer. So I'm going to share what they shared with me. Um, yes, population control as in trap, neuter, release. So the cat said, easy, just help us in the most effective ways, such as stated before, population control. Yes, the TNR efforts, it does help and we are grateful for it. And here's something, if you do work in TNR, as in trap, neuter, release, and many of my people in my community do that, and I'm so in awe that you do this work, and I know it's hard work, and I applaud everybody for doing it. So what I always tell them, and this is what the cats share here too, they say, just when you trap us, explain to us what you're doing. And what I usually do is I tell them it's for your own good. Sorry, we have to catch you. It's for your own good. You'll have a little procedure done. You go to sleep, you wake up, and you have a little procedure done. Then you don't have to have babies anymore, or you don't have to, for the males, you don't have to go out and fight for females anymore. And they understand that. Talk, if you do this kind of work, talk to them. When you have the cats in their traps on the table, talk to them, tell them we're helping you. You don't have to have babies anymore. You'll be better off. You won't have those hormones anymore. You'll feel better. You can now, be yourself. You can fend for yourself. You don't have to have kittens anymore. Um, and you'll be fine. You'll be, put back outside where you come from, or you'll be taken into a shelter where you have it, have a safe life. So talk to them, explain what's going on. And now Laura here is on the call. She works in TNR and she's started doing this a while ago. She says she tells the TNR cats, this is what's going on. She gives them some energy healing. And she says they're much calmer, right? You just wrote that in the chat earlier too. They're much calmer now. So, okay. Somebody asked, Tanya asked, can we talk to them telepathically or does it need to be spoken? You can do both. They understand both. You can connect to them telepathically and stand next to, and just talk to them, or you can just talk in your normal voice. They understand both. Okay, so, all right. Okay. And Josh asked, that's a good question, Josh. He asked if all cats are part of collective consciousness, and why do we have to explain that? Wouldn't they already know? That is a very good question. So when I talk to the cat collective, they tap into that field of wisdom, and that's where they bring the representatives forth that have something to say about that subject matter. But when you have a wildcat, let's say a wildcat that is in a trap and is in panic and doesn't know what's going on, or she knows, yes, the cat knows she's trapped, but in that moment she doesn't know what the purpose of that trapping is, because they, just imagine you doing your eating or something, and then a trap goes closed and you feel yourself in a small cage, you'll go into panic mode, right? And then people come and they carry you away, so you'll be in panic mode, and when you're in panic mode, you're not well connected, or you're not going to tap into universal consciousness saying what's happening here. Yes, they'll know that something's happening. Yes, they'll know that probably humans are involved, but they don't know what the intent of these humans is that are going to come and pick them up. So yes, and no, they will know that something's up, obviously, but when you're panicking, then you're not clearly thinking, or you're not in on mode where you can channel all this information. So I hope this makes sense. Okay, so what else can we do? Let me see. Questions. I don't want to. What age will be neuter our cats? Some say 12 weeks, others say 6 months. That is a very good question, Karina. I find that people here, or cats in the States, I'm from Europe, like Karina. So in Europe, we neuter the cats typically around between 4 and 6 months before they go into their first heat or into their first hormone rage for the boys. In Europe, we typically do the spaying and the neutering between 4 to 6 months before everything comes online. I find that in the US, in shelters, because all the shelters I look at, they neuter very early. They have, I don't know, the 12-week-old kittens, and they're already neutered. So I think it's better to neuter the earlier. It's better early than late. Does it have any lasting effect if you neuter them very early? I know you can do that, and it is not going to have any lasting effects. but typically the best time would be between 4 and 6 months. Let's say between 4 and 5 months. I hope that answers the question. But better too early than too late. That's always my perspective on that. All right. So what else can we do to help them? I mean, obviously come to the shelters. And the cat said, and I don't want any disrespect to breeders, the cat said, don't go to people who breed us for money. They make that difference. So I know they know there's breeders out there that love, and they do it for the love of cats, and they do it for the love of that breed of cats, and they are very loving and caring, and they breed, and they find loving homes for the cats, and they do it for the love of the cats. And so the cats seem to think that that is okay, the breeding for the love of the cats. But they said, don't go to the people who just breed us for money, or who just breed us so they can show us around the cat shows and get a price for it. So but kind of they say, I mean, the cats in shelters usually they really need a home, and they say come to the shelters before you go to a breeder who breeds for money. So I hope no offense to anyone who is a breeder here, no disrespect. But I'm sure if you're here that you don't breed for the money, right? So I think we can rule that out. So yeah, they come to the obvious places and adopt it. They say support the shelters, the rescue organizations with your work time, with your donations. Tell others about shelters, about organizations. The cats basically say, however you can help, it's always help. So however you can contribute is help. So somebody asked earlier in the chat that you said you feel terrible about those you rescue so many, and you feel terrible about those that you cannot rescue. And I completely understand that. I used to feel, when I started this work, I used to feel bad too about say, oh my God, I can't even help these many cats, but there's all these thousands or millions of cats out there that I cannot help. And what the cats want us to know is that every little bit helps. None of us can save the cats in this world alone. None of us can do it alone. But if everybody, and it would be too big a task for one person alone, right? I cannot save all the cats on the planet. I go out with education. I go out with my services. I write books. I do videos. I educate people. Other people do TNR work. Other people work in shelters. Other people work in a vet practice. Other people feed the feral street cats around their house. And know that every bit helps. And if each one of us does a little bit, together we do a lot. So please don't feel bad that you cannot help everyone. It makes a difference to those that you can rescue. It makes a difference, and even if you can only save one cat, there's 100 cats and you can only save one because you can only take, and I had that when my Jamie, my cat that I brought in the beginning, the one who's crossed over now. So when I brought him into my home, I looked at all these. I brought him in from Spain. He was a rescue from Spain. And I looked at them, oh my God, I want to adopt them all, right? Because they all need a home. There's all these sad stories from these shelter cats in Spain. And I can only rescue one, but I only had space for one in my home. And then later, I kind of got into that, and the cats shared it with me. They said for him, it makes a difference. I gave him a life full of love, full of joy, full of, richness. And for him, it makes a difference. And isn't it better to make a difference for one cat than for no cat? Out of guilt, say, oh my God, I can. Or if you take on 20, then you might not be able to care for those 20 because it's too much. But one or two you can give a great life to. So isn't it better to give a really great life to 2 cats, or help the ones that you can help in your immediate surroundings and neighborhood? Isn't it better to help those 20 than not help them at all? So just, every little bit helps. And when you go out and you talk about what you do and you kind of get other people to help too, together we can help. So the cats want you to know, just help however you can help. So some people can help by adopting cats. Some people adopt a lot of cats, and that's how they help. Some people do education like I do. Some people do healing work. It's great. Some people become animal communicators and help other people. Some people do the hard work, and I bow to everybody who works in the shelters doing the TNR on location. I bow to everybody who does it. It's really hard work. But that's the work you feel called to do, or that's the work you can do. Other people say, I would love to help the cats in this world, but I don't have the time. But I help with money. I donate money, and that's great. And some people feel bad, or I used to feel bad because when I was doing a corporate job, I would help with money. I would donate to all kinds of organizations. I would help with money. And I felt bad because I said, oh, I'm giving his money and, I should be doing more. But, at the time, it was my contribution and it helps because the rescue organizations, they need money. So if you can only give money and that's the only thing you can do, it's great because somebody has to give the money. Somebody has to do the rescue work on the streets. Somebody has to give the money. Somebody has to do the educating. Somebody, everybody does their part. And together, and I'm sorry, I'm picking up a lot of closed throat chakras here. So just see it as a joint effort. Everybody brings their piece of the puzzle, and together we can make a difference. We're here together, right? We can make a difference. There's so many people. Just type in the chat, what can you do? What is your contribution? And know that you cannot save all the cats in your neighborhood, but you can save some. So let's just, as a group, let's just put together what we can do to help. Just put in the chat, what is your contribution? So in the meantime, I'm reading Therese's question. If they're suffering in the street, do they at least find relief upon their passing? Yes, yes. When they cross over, they're in a good place. They are protected, they are loved, they don't have pain anymore, they don't suffer anymore. When they cross over, they're in a good place. Okay, so just write real quick, just very quick. You don't have to write a whole sentence, just I do TNR, I do so-and-so, I do so-and-so. Miriam says I recently adopted 2 kittens from a shelter. There you go. Perfect. Lila says financial donation, adopted 2 brothers to live with me. Perfect. There says thank you for what you're doing. Well, it's my pleasure. Tanya says I volunteer in the spay neuter surgeries for a local organization. Judy Ann says, I foster cats from local sites, as well as international cats taken from the streets of Kuwait and Egypt. Perfect. He says, any cat food that my cats won't eat goes to the local cat rescue rather than throw it away. There you go. You're helping. You're helping the local cat rescue with money, with donations. Or, your old cat toys or your old cat trees or something. Bring them to your local donation. Jen says volunteer, donate money for supplies, visit cat cafe for adoption center, to give kitties love who are looking for homes. Laura says I'm an animal communicator, energy healer, TNR rescue, teach trap class. Laura teaches it in the local school. And Jen says feeding ferals. Karina says, I have 2 sick cats. There's no room for donation. That's okay, Karina. You're helping just by being here right now and by being aware. Biggie says just adopted 2 kittens and 2 males a week ago. Perfect. Connie says I trapped a family of cats and fixed them, brought them to a home so they could have a life. Anna says adopted 2 cats from a shelter, sometimes donate to cats in needs. Teresa's best way to come to adequately understand them and communicate with them. Yes. Okay, cool. So as you can see, so many people here, everybody helps in their own way. There is no right or wrong. Help is help. So help in whatever way you can. That's basically, there is no one size fits all answer here. Together we make the difference. So what else do I have here? But I think everything's already said. Education, awareness. So the cats say raise awareness of how special cats are and how much the humans benefit from having cats as their companions. That's what I do, among other things. Go out and tell people about his cats and how we can help you humans live a life of, there's an arrow here, typo, of love, joy, and purpose. Yes, so learn, teach, support any kind of healing work, any kind of animal communication. And most of all, I'm going back to the chat real quick. It says, thank you all for all that you're doing to help the cats in need. Adora says, I'm trustee of a house whose purpose is to care for the deceased owner's cats. Perfect. So great. So the cats basically say, do the kind of help that you feel called to. And do it, and this is important, with a loving heart and a feeling of fulfillment in the work that you do. And I know that when you're down in the trenches, when you work in the streets and you see how bad off the cats are and you pick them up and they're really sick or something, or they're scared and you trap neuter them and you put them back out. And I know it's a lot of hard stuff that you see there. But And some people are not cut out for it. Some people can do it, and I know you're probably still doing it with a heavy heart sometimes, but just focus on the goodness that comes out of it, that you are helping them. Focus on the fulfillment that you get in that work. And I'm saying that with so much respect, because I could not do that kind of work. I would not be cut out to work. I cannot even go to a local shelter. I can talk to them. I can, kind of converse with them and everything. I cannot go to a local shelter because it breaks my heart to see cats in cages. It breaks my heart to see them come up and I want to take them all home. I could not work in the trenches. I mean, I could do it for a while and I would break down and I would probably have a mental breakdown or have a burnout or something. I could not do that kind of work. It would break me. I cannot be in the trenches with those cats and seeing them physically, and it would break me. I could not do that. So I have the highest respect of people who do that. I found that how I can help is by doing the work that I do, by raising the awareness. I can do the remote communication, and I worked with a lot of cats that are very sick or that are in shelters or that are in rescue organizations. And interestingly enough, I can do that. I can talk to them remote and give them hope and send them healing and send them relief of whatever it is that they, need to let go. I can work with them remote. I can give them courage and hope. I can give them healing, but I cannot be there physically with them and be in the trenches, as I call it. I can do that, but I can do this way. So that's what I do. And yes, does it bring me down sometimes when I talk to cats that are not doing well? Yes, of course, it touches me. But I find that's the work that I can do, and that's how I can help. So I chose this as my way to help the cats out in this world. Whereas others say maybe, you feel called to doing the work on location. And if you do that and if if it gives you a sense of fulfillment because you are helping, then that's the work that you can do at this point in your life. But if you do the work and it breaks you, it breaks your heart, it breaks you apart, you're having mental breakdowns or something, then maybe you should switch to something that you can do. So I'm just, sharing that with you because I know I couldn't do it. So if you feel that it breaks you, then maybe you should switch to something in the long run, to something that you can do, it doesn't break you, because you can help in all these myriad of ways. So it's important to do it. That's why they say with a loving heart. Do it with love in your heart and not with a lot of heartache and heartbreak. Because if you keep having that energy of, oh my God, you poor cat, I'm just crying with you because I feel so sad about your condition. It's nice of us to do that, but we don't help them, because now we're giving them our, oh my God, our distraught energy. They're already distraught. And if we have this distraught energy and we're suffering with them, we're not helping them. We have to give them hope. We have to do it with a loving heart. We have to pick them up and be there for them with a loving heart, sending them love, sending them healing, and everybody can do it. And do it with a loving heart and knowing, having a sense of fulfillment at the end of the day that you've helped. That's how they want us to help. If you feel it constantly breaks your heart, it constantly breaks your psyche and your spirit, maybe you should switch to a line of work. And there's a myriad of ways of how you can help cats, as we just established. Maybe you should switch something that you can do with a loving heart and where you don't break down all the time crying. I'm just, I'm not saying don't do the important work out there, but there are people who are cut out for the work in the streets, and some people are not cut out for it. So whatever, I'm just calling it line of work now, but we're talking about helping out cats in this world. You can do it in so many ways, and you can become a healer, a remote healer. You can do animal communication. It does a lot of good. If you find that's better for you, you better cut out for that. Then switch to that versus always being in the trenches and always having your heart broken all the time, because you don't help them in the long run. When your heart breaks and you're broken at the end of the year or something, because the work just takes so much out of you, then leave that work to somebody who can do it and do something where you can help without breaking. So I hope that helps. Let me just go to the chat real quick. See what you guys are saying about that. Sending them love. Yep. Tony says, I cannot go to a shelter because I feel the animal's pain and fears. It drives into depression. Hence, I went into healing. Exactly. Connie does energy healing like I do. Yep. Rick says, find the thing that calls you that you can do. Exactly. Jasmine says, I'm exactly the same way. Yep. Laura says, it's tough but fulfilling. Compassion fatigue is real. Yes, I understand. Okay. So Therese is asking, what are they here to teach us? They actually teach us to, the cats are actually here to teach us to be ourselves, to do what we're called to do, to, yes, to help out the cats and everything, but to be ourselves and not bend to somebody else's, not do what you think you have to do, but do what you feel you can do. And I'm pretty sure that everybody here who listens to this in replay or live, I'm pretty sure there's something that you feel called to do around cats. And if it's just donation money, the cats need money too. The organizations need money. So if you feel called to, if you say, I don't have the time, I don't have the nerve, I don't have the nervous, makeup to do this work, give money. It helps. People, rescue organizations, shelters, they need money. So everybody can help in their own way. So the cats are here to teach us love, unconditional love. They're here to teach us to do what we're called to do. And I hope this helps. Rick says, I've been in the trenches and say what Sylvia's saying. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Josh asked a good question, and maybe I should leave that for later so I can finish my points here, and then we go to but we're already pretty much in the Q&A. So Josh says, you genuinely believe your ability to talk to cats, but how do you discern whether you actually can or whether it might just all be in your head? I ask this with respect. It's a valid question, Josh. I think it's the first time you're here. It's all good. We'll have blind spots and important to be able to discern whether our beliefs are true or false. Okay, that is a good question. I mean, it kind of questions everything I do, but it's okay. All the questions are welcome. It's true when you talk to somebody's cat and you describe basically everything that the cat does or how the cat behaves without ever having seen the cat. So the way animal communication works is you see a picture, and then I tune in and I go into meditation, and then I call the cat and I have a telepathic conversation with the cat. And the cat shows me his or her life. And it's true when I speak to the person or I describe to a T how the cat behaves, what the cat does, how the cat, what kind of idiosyncrasies or funny little things the cat has. And the person says, oh my God, yeah, that's my cat. And I've never seen the cat. I just see a picture. Or when you see, so that's number one, when you describe the cat's behavior and idiosyncrasies to a T, and you've never seen the cat. And typically when you do animal communication, you only see a picture. You don't see the cat, but you explain everything and the person says, oh my God, that's my cat. You just nailed it to a T. So that's number one. And number two is when you see that after you've talked to the cat, after you worked with the cat changes their behavior overnight. So let's say a cat peed or, had a half a year of peeing on the carpet or something. And then I have a conversation with the cat and the cat explains why she's peeing. And then the next day, the next person calls me up and says, oh my God, my cat stopped peeing and hasn't, and then a year later hasn't done it since after the conversation. So that's how I know it's real, because the cats do change their behavior instantly. All right, so that's all I want to say at this point, but it's a valid question. I welcome all the questions, but you see that the cat changes their behavior and you explain exactly what the cat's like. Josh says, thank you for answering. Okay, cool. All right, so let's finish this up here and then we go into the Q&A. So basically, in summary, how can we help? By using our discernment of where we adopt the cat from, maybe shelter versus breeder, but is that up to your discernment? By using your intuition when a new cat comes into your life, adopting cats when you really weren't even thinking about adopting, but you're doing it anyway because these cats just pop up and you just feel so strongly you have to adopt them. By rescue and TNR work, there really is no right or wrong, the cats were saying. As long as you raise awareness or help with education, as long as you roll up your sleeves and do what you feel called to, be it healing or writing books or helping at shelters, vet practice, it's what you're called to do. So it's basically a summing up of what I already shared. And again, and it's so important, give the help that you feel called to. Give the help that you can do with love in your heart and a feeling at the end of the day. Yes, sometimes it's tough. And yes, even for me, it's tough. I do it remote, but still it's tough to talk to a cat that is dying or very old or very sick. But still at the end of the day, I know I helped. And it's a feeling of fulfillment for me. And as long as I have that feeling, I will continue to do what I do. And it can change, you know. I mean, in the beginning, I worked pretty much hands-on. I would I would do house calls in the beginning, and then I went more to remote. And then from one to one, I went to groups and everything. So my my kind of work changed over the years, and then I started to write books, and then I started to do videos and calls and free calls and all that. So know that your work might change too over time. It's really whatever you can do at the time with love in your heart and a feeling of fulfillment. Okay, so I hope that answered all the questions. And I would like to go to Q&A now and you can ask your personal questions. You and I try and tune in and see if I can do intuitive readings for you guys, or you ask about cats in general. Feel free to ask your questions, and I would prefer it to be all in the chat and not in the Q&A, because then I don't know where to go. So let me see how many personal questions I can answer today. I would like to keep this fairly, you know, to the timing today, 90 minutes, and we started about 10 minutes after. So, okay, let me see which question. I'm pretty sure I cannot, because it's a lot of people on. I'm pretty sure I cannot take all the questions today, but just see. So anything that is physical, I would really always advise you go see a vet. I do not give physical medical advice. Lila says, my cat Lulu has lots of itchiness with scabs and bumps on his skin. What would that be about? I'm feeling frustrated and helpless because trying to help so many different things to help for quite a while now. I feel it's emotional. There's some emotional stuff going on. Look into yourself, and those who know me know that I always see the connection between cat and person. So a lot of times when our cats have physical issues or things, they're picking up stuff from us, or they're mirroring stuff from us. So Lila, look into yourself, and you don't have to answer here, but look into yourself, what goes under your skin. I feel that a lot of times when people are empaths, we literally stuff goes under our skin, literally, and you know, we pick up emotions from others as empaths. So look into yourself, what goes under your skin. Give yourself some healing, give yourself some releasing, whatever you're storing in your field from others that is not yours. She's picking up some of that. So she's an empath too, and she literally stores emotions under her skin. So try energy healing. Look into energy healing for cats, or just, you know, help her release whatever she picks up from others. That being said, a physical issue, please always consult a vet. It could be an allergy, food allergy, could be all kinds of stuff, could be parasites. So please go see a vet. I'm not going to say this. I feel that there's stuff that goes under her skin. She's an empath. So try to, you know, keep your stress to a minimum. Try to keep stuff that is from other people that you pick up from the world and that she picks up from the world. Try to keep your environment clean, as in energetically clean. You know, don't listen to the news all the time. Don't bring stuff in from the outside, as in don't discuss, you know, whatever, all the problems in the world. Try to energetically cleanse yourself, and then see whether her skin issues hopefully get better. But as I said, disclaimer, please also go see a vet for skin issues. Okay, Alida says, I work in a vet hospital and foster cats that come in sick or injured, and I have 8 cats because I fall in love with them, can't give them back to the shelter. Yes, I understand. I know a lot of people who are foster fails. They bring in foster cats and then they have them, and I applaud everybody who has 6, 7, 8, 20 cats at home and cares for them. I think it's wonderful. All my love to you. So Piggy says, my new kitty S'mores peed on the bed twice, but we're trying to teach him to use his litter box. Do you think he will learn? It usually doesn't have, I don't know how young he is, and if he, you know, but usually cats know how to use the litter box. It's not that they don't know. Peeing issues, and anybody else who has a peeing issue that they post here, I'm going to answer the peeing issues here in one go. When cats pee outside the litter box, it's not that they don't know. It's not that they don't know better. They are emotionally distressed. They want to show us something. Usually wherever the peeing takes place is where the stress is. So if she pees in the bed, I think, if he pees in the bed, then that means that there's stress. Somebody has pressure there in the bed. Either you take your stress to bed in the evening and you lie down and everything, you're going through stuff and going through whatever's going through your mind. Somebody has stress in their bed. Go, and likely a lot of times it's the humans. So wherever the peeing takes place, go within what takes place in that place where the peeing is. Is it in the bed? Is it in your shoes? Is it in your bathroom? Wherever the cat pees, they usually signify stress or pressure that the humans have. So just feel in what's going on in the bed. Are you somebody who goes to bed, with the weight of the world on their shoulders and not being able to sleep or just constantly churning through stuff in your head, who has stress in that bed? And then lovingly, release that stress. Try try also energetic hygiene, right? Try to keep your thoughts pure, try to get into a higher vibration, and then the cat hopefully starts peeing in the litter box. Unless, of course, also disclaimer, unless the litter boxes are insufficient, unless you don't have enough litter boxes, unless the litter boxes are in a location where the cat feels stressed out, because sometimes the litter boxes are in a hallway where 5 kids and 2 dogs run through all the time. Then put the litter box in a place where the cat feels safe to use it, and then see if anything changes. Also, medical disclaimer, any cat who pees out of the ordinary, please take him to the vet, have him checked for urinary tract infections, bladder infections. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about peeing. Always have them checked out by the vet first. Is it something physical? If not, it's emotional. Is the litter box in a good spot where the cat feels safe to use it? Or is there a toddler crawling around and 5 other dogs, chasing the cat out of the litter box? So check that first. The physical, the location of the litter box, is it clean? Is the litter box clean, or do you only clean it, every 3 days, which you should clean it every day? And then look into, is it emotional? And who has emotional distress in the spot where the cat pees? Okay, so I hope that takes care of all the peeing questions today. Jen says also licking abdomen. Okay, Jen, again, if it's, I can't, in these free sessions, I can't go into all the physical things. Again, I would suggest going to the vet. Vet thinks it's behavioral, like it's something that feels good, like when we have an itch and scratch it. Well, if there's nothing physically wrong, it could be anything with itching and scratching. It could be a food allergy. A lot of cats are very allergic to a lot of stuff in the food. Switch to different food, switch to wet food, away from dried food, take food that is that has very little ingredients in it, not a list of ingredients that is long. The shorter the list of ingredients, the better the food. There's a lot of things you can try first. Yes, cats can have emotional issues, and then they lick themselves raw, but I cannot really go deep into diagnosis here. So I hope this helps a little bit, though. Let's go further. Laura asks, can the soul of a cat be their first time on this plane? A new soul? Yes. Yes, just like humans. It can be a completely new soul that was never here before. And it can be a soul that has been here thousands of lifetimes. Yes. Okay, Tanya, are our cats okay being indoor cats, or do they need to go outside? Okay, so that's a little bit like the hunting question. Some cats like to hunt, and some cats say, I don't need to do that anymore because it's past. I'm better than that. It's with the outdoors, indoors. I know a lot of very happy indoor cats. And I would always prefer a happy indoor cat to having a cat in an outdoors environment where there's cars and streets and all kinds of other or wild animals or something. So yes, can cats live a happy indoor life? Yes, I know many, many hundreds and thousands of cats that live happily indoors. It's important that we give them something that is, for cats, where they can climb, where they can go up, 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 where they can scratch, where they can, where they can live a cat life. If you have a balcony or a terrace or something, or a little catio that you can make even better. If you have a yard, I think the best thing is what I have. I have a fenced-in backyard. I have put a cat enclosure on top of the backyard of my fence, so the cats can go into my backyard safely. So they're indoor. They're kind of outdoor, but they're safe. I would always prefer keeping them indoors before you live unless you live in an area where it's really safe for them to go outside. And increasingly, it's a human's world, and it's in a lot of areas it's not safe for cats. So I would prefer a healthy indoor cat to an outdoor cat that is in an unsafe location. And can cats live a happy life indoors? Yes. But it's up to the cat, and that's some cats, they just need to go outdoors. They're just made for outdoors, and some cats have no problem staying indoors. So it's an individual choice for cats. But that being said, they've never seen the outdoors. If they've always been indoors, they have an easier time staying in. But then there are some, they just need the outdoors. So I hope this answered the question. Okay. Jasmine says, is there any situation cats are okay with being declawed? No, 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 no. No. No declawing ever. Ever, ever, ever. No. So I think he's saying, I don't even want to read the rest of the question. I can imagine want to hear that if it's between being given away or being declawed, what would the cat say? The cat would not want to be mutilated. So if somebody considers declawing their cat, that cat, I'm sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional about these things. That cat would be better off with somebody who understands cats, because the declawing is it's not just kind of like just cutting off the claws. It's mutilation. They cut off part of it's. Imagine this is your finger, and imagine taking off the first limb of your finger. Basically, the entire thing where your nail is on, this entire limb of your finger gets cut off. So the cat is mutilated for life. It's like cutting all the fingertips off. That's what declawing is. It's not just pulling the claw. It's a myth. So not ever before you see a cat in danger of being declawed, then please find a different home for them with somebody who understands that cats need to climb. There are natural climbers. They need their claws for stability, for defending themselves and everything. So I know it's not you, Jasmine. I know you're just asking for somebody else here, but you can pass that information on. So, if somebody wants to declaw a cat, then that cat deserves a better home. All right. So, my cat doesn't want to eat. That is, Karina asked, my cat doesn't want to eat. The vet says everything is okay with the cat. I'm feeling a little nausea when I tap into your cat. Maybe your cat can handle the food that well right now. I feel your cat is very empathic. So whatever is going on with you right now, also feel in. Are you feeling overwhelmed? I feel there's a lot of overwhelm with the world going on. So just feel in, where do you feel overwhelmed right now? Your cat's taking on a lot of overwhelm. So again, if it's something physical, the cat won't eat, please talk to the vet. But a lot of it is emotional. Okay, so this helps. Claire asked, can you explain why cats sleep all day? Are they working on the spiritual side and doing some of the work there? It's kind of it's a physiological thing. Cats are hunters. Again, it's a physiological thing. Cats are hunters. So the cats are made for sprints, for bursts of energy. They're made by nature so that they can jump up and go into a full sprint. And cats are really good with short sprint modes. So all their physiology the reflexes is made to be hunters, to jump and bounce, and for a short, a really quick hunt. That's why they sit and they sit and they sit, and they don't jump until the last second, because the physiology makes them to be sitting still, and then pouncing, and then doing a quick hunt, and then they need to rest, and then they eat, and then they rest. So it's kind of part of their physiology that they sleep so much. That being said, when they sleep, they still work for us. They enrich our field with frequencies, with love frequencies, with joy frequencies, with their presence. The energy worker among the cats, they kind of cleanse the energies while they work, while they sleep. They still do something for us. So, and yes, do they astral travel? Yes. Do they dream? Yes, just like we do. We astral travel in our sleeps. Our body regenerates in our sleep, but our mind or our spirit wanders. So it's the same for the cats. Hope this helps. Julianne says, my foster kitties are very skittish and scared, particularly with visitors, which is important if they're going to get adopted. Is there any way to make them feel more trusting of strangers? They're comfortable with me after months of work. Jake, Jewel, and Charlotte. Oh, I've tried to assure them no one will hurt them and only love from this time forward. Okay, so tell them, usually foster cats are very insecure because they don't know what's going, they understand that they are just in an interim position. They understand that, they understand everything we say. So they understand this is not their final home usually. And it makes them insecure to be in this in-between position because nobody talks to them. Or some people do, but many people don't talk to the foster cats. So they understand this is not my home. I'm kind of parked here for, the time being. They say they're gonna get me a home, but I don't know what, I don't know where, I don't know, are we gonna stay together? Are we going to be separated? So nobody talks to these foster kitties. So what the best thing you can do is talk to them in your normal voice. You can talk to them. You can sit down when when they're in a relaxed mood or something, sit down with them and tell them that you're going to find them the best home possible. In the meantime, they're going to stay with you until they have a home. They're not going to be put back in the street or in the shelter, wherever they come from. They're secure, they're safe, they're being loved. You're going to find the best home possible for them. Ideally, they can stay together, or if, two or three of them or something, or if don't promise them they stay together if you can't guarantee it. But you can say, we're going to try to find a home together for you. It's going to be great. You're going to have this great family. We don't know when yet, but in the meantime, you are safe and secure. So try that, talk to them, and that should soothe them and calm down a little bit so they know what's going on. And then tell them that humans are nice. Some of these feral cats, street cats, or cats from shelters that have bad experience with humans, they bring it, or they literally drank it with their mother's milk. That they need to be, if cats are very feral and they have kittens and they're born in the wild, a lot of times the mother kind of gives it into their consciousness that you have to be afraid of humans, and then the humans take them in and they still don't trust us. So tell them everything's going to be fine and they're going to grow up to be perfect, great, young adults, and they're going to have great families, and just see if they calm down and see if they become, trust is something that we need to earn. Humans, we need to earn cats' trust sometimes, but it's usually worth it. And you know what? The right family will find them. And I know nobody wants a shy cat. People usually want cats that they can pet and everything, but there's a lot of people who will also take a shy cat. So the right people will find him. So they know not every cat is a lap cat. Not every cat goes out and talks to everybody and, walks up to people. Some cats will be shy, and it's okay. And the right people will find them. If they are shy cats and they will not be, if somebody wants these cats that are just all over the place and in their face and on their lap, the expectations would be too high anyway. The right people will find them. There are so many people who will take shy cats or cats that are introverted. So the right people will find them. Okay, this helps. And I'm trying to answer these questions so everybody can benefit. Taylor says, I have a 6-month-old cat who's very loving and playful. However, she seems to be annoyed by pets and loves to gnaw my fingers. She's healthy according to the vet, but I find this behavior annoying and sometimes painful. Do you have any other advice on how I can offer different physical contact that doesn't involve sacrificing my fingers? Yes. So, some cats are literally very, very, they're super sensitive. I feel your cat is she, right? She, yes. I feel this cat is very sensitive to the touch, and when cats are very sensitive, they're empaths, they're very sensitive. So when we or they have their nervous system gets overloaded a lot, and then when we pet them, they do not like it and they will bite us. So be careful where you touch your cat. Let's send her some, releasing of the energies. I don't know if you do any type of energy healing, but help her release the energies that are not hers, that she kind of takes on as an empath. Only pet your cat when your cat's ready. Maybe don't pet her that much for a while. Offer her, I was kind of offer them, stretch out the finger and see if you can touch them here. And then when they like it, you kind of go further, but find out where your cat likes to be touched and where she doesn't like to be touched. There's cats who don't like to be touched on their back or on here. There's other cats that only like to be touched on their backs. So find out where your cat likes to be touched. I feel she's also kind of training you to become more intuitive and to become more feeling, to go by your feeling. Don't go by what people tell you. Cats always, because there's these cat books that say you always pet the cats here and always here and never there. That's not true. Every cat likes to be touched in a different place. So I feel she's also training you to become more intuitive, to go more within and feel where she wants to be touched, when she wants to be touched. I feel it's a learning. She's your teacher. She's learning you. She's teaching you patience. She's teaching you boundaries. She's teaching you something. So go with it. Be gentle. Be very gentle. Offer her your kind of your finger, your hand first, and then start slowly with the petting and find out where she wants to be touched. And don't touch her kind of unsolicited, or when she sleeps or when she does something. I feel you need to be very intuitive and very sensitive and very gentle with this cat, and that's what she's teaching you. So I hope this helps. So it's a learning. It's going to be a learning curve with her, but she's teaching you patience and intuition. All right, good. And yeah, and if she bites you in the fingers and everything, then I recommend, don't get upset or don't swat or anything. Just pull back your hand and say, okay, not right now. I understand it's wrong, or I understand you don't want this right now. Just pull away and avoid the contact with her. Don't eat her, or don't swat her or anything. Just basically end the contact with her in that moment, and next time just do it more gentle, or yeah, or whatever. So she wants you to go and get in tune with her. I hope this helps. Bill says, hello, Sylvie. I met you at the Disclosure Fest in December. Yes, we did. Hi, Bill. I remember. Says your work is important and so amazing. We have one cat, Luna. She is now about 21 months old. Does she want another cat to keep her company? Does she feel okay with being her only cat? Luna says she can go either way. Luna, she's okay with doing what she does. She's very high vibe. She's attuning you to higher frequencies. So she's kind of an energy fairy. So she says it can go either way. She would be okay being alone, but I feel a second cat would be okay too. But it has to be somebody who complements her. So see if you find somebody in the same, doesn't always have to be the same age, but of the same temper. Don't bring in a boy who would just want to wrestle her or walk all over her or something. It should be somebody who compliments her, she says. But it can go either way. But I feel a second cat is coming eventually. So I hope this helps. And so nice to meet you again. Okay, Claire says, have you thought about hosting a cat retreat in the near future? Actually, as a matter of fact, I have. It's in the making for the second half of the year. I want to do a weekend retreat where we go into depth with all of that stuff and do meditations and tap into your cats and do clearings and healings. So yes, look out for probably going to announce a retreat in the fall. Love that question. Okay, question. Claudia is 5 years, got her at 8 weeks. She doesn't cover her poo when she uses the litter box. Is it because of losing her mother at an early age? You know what? Some cats just don't like to do that. It's a cat thing. Some cats will not cover. Sometimes they want to say something with it. Sometimes they just don't feel like they have to do it. It just feels like she feels up. When cats don't cover their stuff in the litter box, then sometimes they feel on top of the world. They feel I'm the boss here, right? So I don't have to do this. But yeah, I'm not getting any further information on that. But just know that some cats just won't do it. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the mom not showing them, but yeah, if she was 6 weeks old when she got away from her mother or earlier, then yes, she was very little and she could not learn everything she needs to learn about being a cat. But I feel it's kind of, she just stands in her power, if that makes sense. Okay, let me see. Oh, there's so many messages. I cannot go through any of them. I'm going to pick 3 more questions and then okay, let me see. Zoe Kim asked about a 9-year-old girl, Zoe. She's hissing at the other cat, Penelope. Is there any chance of these two ever getting along? Yes, there is. Be patient, have patience, and assign them tasks. Find out what Zoe and Penelope are doing for you. When they know that they are not threats for each other, that they actually complement each other because everybody does a different task for you, then see if you can There's no reason why there should not be peace and quiet between those two, but you need to have a little patience. Okay, Therese asked, does my cat Magic know how loved she is? Yes, they always do. Will she understand our having to travel? Will she be okay on the road with me in my van? Well, I don't want to answer you being on the road with your cat in a van because only you can know that. But cats are very cats adjust to our lifestyles. So if you feel that you can travel in the road in a van with her, then that's up to your discernment. I'm not getting information on that. But yes, they always know how loved they are. It's a question about Angel and Luna earlier. I don't have that question now, Karen, I'm sorry. Okay, scratching, more peeing. Can Gladys help me from the spirit plane? She would snuggle and purr to ease my pain. I don't feel strong enough yet to bring home a new cat. You can ask her, or you can tap into her in the spirit plane. You can just go into your meditation and call Gladys. Yes, they can snuggle for us. They can purr for us on the other side. And the new cat will come to you in divine timing. Okay. All right. Now we're talking about declawing. Okay, it's all good. Foods. Okay, is there any more question? Any more questions? My cat is standoffish. Honor cat's nature. Okay. Maxine asked again. Gladys want to stay with me from spirit plane. Okay, so when for any cat that is over on the other side in the spirit plane, you can always ask for them to come back. And it's not always up to us, to our human mind, when they come back, but everybody who has a cat on the other side who wishes for them to come back, you can connect to them in your meditation, call them, and ask them if they want to come back to you or if they're allowed to come back to you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, good, good, good. So, oh, that was a lot about what you guys were talking about declawing. Karen asked about her question earlier. I did say I was going to do three more questions. Okay, George is asking here on the other one, the Q&A. So George asked, but that was a while ago. I don't know whether you're still on, George. Says, so far nothing has been asked about how our cat's spiritually guiding us. All questions reflect, you know, George, I have a lot of other free webinars or classes or books that are out there. Maybe look into my free webinar section. I've done a lot of webinars about spiritual stuff about cats. Today, I wanted to actually, that was the one time I wanted to go more into the you know, the matter of fact, the earthly stuff, the down-to-earth stuff. That was deliberate to do more down-to-earth questions today, because usually I always talk about the spiritual stuff. So if you're interested in the spiritual awakening part of the cats, I have a lot of free webinars, and come back to the next cat summit, which will be at the end of March. So the plan is to do this every 4 weeks. We meet again at the end of March, and I will probably go more into the spiritual questions. So today was more down to earth call. All right. So, okay. Is my cat an aspect of me? Yes, George. Yes. Yes. Going to see. I don't know if George is still on or if he sees it in delayed replay, because these questions were asked a while ago. George asked, are other animals, dogs, birds, deer, bears, elephants, trying to use a human being to speak their messages to mankind, similar to what the cats are doing through you? What would they be telling and asking us humans? That is a very good question. So yes, our cats are reflecting back us, some aspects of us always. They are here for us, so we can recognize ourselves in them. Yes, the other animals can speak us one, too. I personally do not know anyone who channels the elephants or the dogs or the horses, but there is no reason why nobody should be doing that. So maybe there is a dog whisperer who channels or maybe my work now inspires others to channel the dog consciousness or the horse consciousness. So yes, they can all come through us. Usually they are all here. Every animal species is here with a different task. Like they say, the dogs are here for love. They give unconditional love. The dogs are also here to help us, obviously, with, you know, the most obvious ways to protect us physically, to be our friends, to love us. So that's kind of what the dogs are here for. The horses are here also with a higher spiritual aspect, but they used to be here for centuries, for millennia, as they helped us build, you know, civilizations. They were a means of transportation. They literally helped us build, you know, homes and cities and empires. Their role, the horse's role, has switched more to a spiritual role lately in the last decades, luckily. But the cats are here specifically. What the cats do, what the cats together do for us is they bring us into the love and joy frequencies. And that's all spiritual stuff that I didn't want to get into that much today. But yes, every animal species is here with a purpose, with a meaning. And yes, they can all talk through somebody the way they do through me. And I could also channel the horse consciousness, but not today. It's getting late. And I'm just specialized in cats because cats are my people. So that's just who I love to talk to. But yes, every animal can speak like this. Okay, and Alita asks, are the cats that come into our lives a part of our soul family? Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. And they are always part of who we need for that part of our journey. So we will always get the cats at that part of our lives who we need most. If we need a healer cat, we will get a healer cat for that part of our life. If we get a soulmate or a supporter, an emotional supporter, we'll get an emotional supporter cat. If we need a teacher cat because we need to learn something, or we just don't get something, or we have an unresolved life issue, we'll get a teacher cat. So we always get the cat in our lives that we need. Okay, so I think we should bring this to an end. Jen Jen asked, are wild cats like jaguars part of the collective, or do they have their own group? They have their own group, but they're not part of this. This is the cat collective, the house cat collective that is speaking through me now. Okay, there's still so many people on. I love that. Thank you, guys. So I want to wrap this up. I know Karen said that I didn't read her message. Karen, can you just write your message again real quick? Okay, so yeah, what's your biggest takeaway? Real quick, while I'm waiting for Karen to ask a question again. Sorry, I did not mean to not read your question. Lila says, biggest takeaway is that cats want to be spayed neutered. I've always wondered. Perfect. Laura says that my path is animal communication. Energy healing will work in conjunction with my TNR rescue work. Perfect. Maybe others, if you want to share real quick, what is your biggest takeaway from today? And I'm willing to answer Karen's question if I can find it. If Karen is still on. Other than that, yeah, let's wrap this up. Can copy and paste. Okay, Karen, why don't you write me an email? How about that? Write me an email, and I will answer your question via email. So I did not mean to not get your question. All right, so cats are here to teach us, to guide us, to inspire. We have so much to learn from them. Some cats would rather live outdoors or be hunters than live in with humans. Yes, okay, yes and no. Well, most cats actually would rather be with humans than outdoors, unless they are super fierce hunters and super instinctual. So Karen writes a smiley, a hearts. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure being with you, and so many people stayed to the end. Yeah, so as I said, I'm going to be doing these calls once a month now, and for those people who were here for the first time, I hope you like it. I hope you come back. For everybody, I hope you come back. There's a replay available for those who are registered officially. There's a replay available tomorrow. You can go back and listen to it again. Watch it again, and yes, and please, write in your questions. What would you like to know from the cat collective? I do want to go back to more spiritual questions next time, but I'll see what comes up, or maybe we do one spiritual question, one down to earth question. because cats are both, and I think I would like to close with that statement. Cats are both, and that's what we can learn from cats. And now I'm having a spiritual moment here. What we can learn from cats is that they can both be, they enjoy being a cat in their body. They enjoy with all their senses. They love to go out and touch with their paws and roll around in the grass and do all the cat stuff. They love doing that and eat their food and play and be funny. But at the same time, they are very much connected. They're very spiritual, and they do this stretch. They do it perfectly. They can be a cat and enjoy being a cat, but they're also highly spiritual. And that's what we can learn from it, from the cats, because we are either, I mean, we spiritual people, we tend to want to be very spiritual, and we sometimes forget to be in our bodies, but we need to be both. We need to embrace being a human while also in developing our spiritual aspect, right? So we can learn from the cats. They love to be a cat, they love to be in a body, but they also have this highly spiritual side to them. So yeah, and that's what they want to teach us, and that's where we can learn from them. And that is why I will continue to talk about both, about the spiritual aspect of cats and the cat aspect of cats, although the first is my favorite. But I will continue to talk about both. And please send me your questions via email or via Facebook. And I'll try to answer all your questions in the course of the year. I mean, not your intuitive readings now, the private questions, but about cats in general. Which questions do you have for cats in general, for the cat collective, let's say? Spiritual questions, down-to-earth questions. Send me your questions for the cat collective. And as always, I'm happy to tune in and give some intuitive readings at the end of these calls. But I would also love to answer some questions for everybody. All right. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. And I see you next time. Bye. Bye. Thank you guys. Bye.